All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. Smash up that like button. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start off today's video with a little market analysis. I'm going to point out to you, again, a few key indicators. Hopefully, you've gotten a chance to take a look at this stuff. But if not, I'm going to try and make all this easy to understand. I mean, just like Bitcoin, just like cryptocurrency, just like Altcoin Daily, we are for the masses, not the classes. You know, we're here to break things down, make it easy to understand, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And then I want to transition into some recent news by talking about what's going on today, providing a little bit of context about what's going on in the future, what's happened in the past, and we're just going to go through this stuff. We're going to stay informed. Hey, Lil Uzi Vert's latest song has Bitcoin in the music video. It's pretty cool. So let's get right into it. And if and when you find value in today's video, do me a favor, hit that like button. I mean, we come at you 365, 7 days a week. We try and break things down. And the only thing I ask is that you support the channel by just clicking the like button. So let's get into it. We are in exciting times, my friends. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Bitcoin has been rallying up for the past 9 weeks straight. And let's count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we've actually seen only green weekly candles for the past 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, this is what I like to see. This is strong. This is positive. This is bullish momentum. Right? Well, to some degree. I mean, fact is, guys, whether we head up a little bit further or whether we, start correcting down tomorrow, the correction will happen. Nothing goes up forever. The market goes in cycles. You know this. And within big cycles, there are little cycles. So this is something I'm looking out for. Not to mention, there are a few key technical indicators that I have. I want to share them with you right now. For instance, number 1, waning volume. So as the price goes up, we can see that the volume, although it's green, it's actually been going down. So that's interesting. Number 2, we have a cluster of resistance. I marked it out with this white line right here. A cluster of resistance at the 4,200 level. And if you've looked at this chart, if you looked at the day chart, you can see that we've actually tried to break above this resistance half a dozen times. And we're really close right now. And we're going to pop in one direction or the other. And some people think, because there's kind of an ascending triangle being formed, some people think we're going to break up. But still others think, because there's just so much resistance here, we're going to break down. So something to look out for. I brought this next one up to you the other day, number 3. Check out this whole video right here if you want to find out more about this. But I'll just remind you real quick, the NVT signal, or the NVT ratio, right here. This measures Bitcoin's on-chain volume, has just broken the trend line, which seems to indicate an impending correction and consolidation. So again, if you want more information on that, check out the video I did 2 days ago. But the next one, the next indicator is this right here. This orange line, Bitcoin's realized value, which right now Bitcoin's realized value is about 4,300. And if you don't know what the realized value or the realized price is, it's the value of all the coins in circulation at the price they last moved. So in other words, an approximation of the value paid for all the coins in circulation. So Bitcoin is below the realized value right now. Let's zoom in a little bit. We are below the realized value, but you can see we're getting pretty close, and this is going to provide a little bit of resistance. And we are looking for the break up. It's going to be hard to break up, but once we do, we'll take a look at this. So if you actually look in Bitcoin's past, in the previous 2 longer bear markets, one in 2011, 2012, one in 2014 or 2015, you can see that when we broke below the realized value, once we were able to break above, well, in 2011, 2012, we kind of stayed on it for a while, but we never went lower, really. And then in 2014 and 2015, it was resistance for a few different times until we finally broke above, and then we stayed above for the next 3 years. Same 2011. Once we broke above, we were able to rally up for the next 3 years straight and stay above it. So this is something I am keeping a close eye on. If and when we break above it, that would be a very good sign, but there's a good chance we're going to bounce off of it. We need to watch this closely. So if and when we break to the downside, let's talk about what we need to look for. Basically, like I said, it will happen. We are going to go lower at some point, and which is not a problem, but if and when we do, what we need to look for is if we can consolidate at a higher low. So yeah, what I'm looking at is this 200-week moving average right here. Is this red line. And the 200-week moving average right now today is at about 3,500. And back last December, when we bounced off of it, back then it was 3,100. So now it's 3,500. And if we can stay above this moving average, I mean, that is surely a good sign. Plus, if 3,100 really was the bottom, guess what? We are seeing similarities between where we are today and the period in 2015, which was really the end of the bear market, when in 2015 when we'd already bottomed out and then we started the uptrend. You can see the similarities right here. This is 2019, this is 2015. Basically, if 3,100 was the bottom and we do continue this pattern, what we're looking for is Bitcoin to eventually be able to rally up above the 200-day moving average, which if we switch to that, you can see the 200-day moving average at this point is at about 4,500, well, 4,600. So that is the situation, my friends. Basically, to sum up my thoughts, I'd say, yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, if we can break above 4,300, maybe we can get a little farther, but if not, we will be correcting soon, right? Nothing goes up forever. And when we come back down, the key price point is 3,500 or the 200-week moving average. If we can stay above this, I will continue to indulge the possibility that 3,100 was the bottom of the bear market. Exciting times, right? Maybe in a year or two from now, I think it's not going to matter much, really. In a year or two from now, I suspect that people are going to wish they would have paid attention during these times, In the future, for the average person, well, it's going to be hard for the average person to own one whole Bitcoin. If you were able to invest in Bitcoin around the low 3,000 area, and you're up maybe 20, 30% today, maybe consider taking some profits. It's up to you. All right, let's talk about another historical indicator, which should make you very bullish, right? It's the Bitcoin halving, which is getting closer. And if you don't know what the halving is, it's when the amount of Bitcoins that the miners get rewarded with for doing the work, when that gets cut in half. So it used to be 50, then it was 25. Right now, we are in the 12.5 period, but come 2021, right, it's going to cut again to 6.25. This is Bitcoin's deflationary model, which will eventually, when everything is mined, turn into a fixed supply. So this is a good reminder to everybody that Bitcoin is scarce, right? So let's check this out. This is historical data that shows something interesting, that a year before the halving, about 1 year, the cost of Bitcoin starts to go up. So they marked that right here, and right here, a year before the halving. In 2012 and 2016, it wasn't exactly a year, but one was 376 days, one was 320 days before the halving, is when the price started to go on an uptick. So the question is, you see that here, the question is, are we a year away from the halving yet? No, not at this point. We are still over a year, still 420 days away, but you can see they marked it out right here. It's just an interesting it's just an interesting historical indicator, which maybe this will be the start of the uptrend. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so before we get into what's going on in Africa, guess what? Bitcoin cryptocurrencies is gaining popularity, and they provided some specific examples. It's nice to get an insight on what's going on in Africa. But before that, I want to talk again about another reason why Bitcoin has a future, why Bitcoin, in my opinion, is a good investment. There's plenty of reasons to get behind Bitcoin, but I just want to drill down on one today, and it's courtesy of this guy's Reddit post. We'll just read some of it. Why I'm investing in Bitcoin. It's because the dollar's purchasing power is decreasing at a dangerous rate. So fiat money, the dollar, its inflation is permanent and it's volatile. You think crypto is volatile? Compare it to the history of the dollar and the loss of its buying power. Think about it. My grandma used to buy burgers for 10 cents and 25 cents for a full meal. My dad bought them for 25 cents and $1 for a full meal. Me? Just one generation later, I was buying burgers for $1 as a kid and $3 for the meal. Now, as an adult, I can't find a meal for less than $10, and on average can't buy a real-sized burger like the ones I got as a kid for less than $5. Imagine what it's going to cost in the next 30 years. $30 to $50 for a burger and $100 for a meal. That's why I'm buying Bitcoin. Not to make insane amounts of money, but to protect the value of what we have now from the inflationary dollar. Because our measly $10 for a meal doesn't seem like a lot now, but that value, if protected from fiat's inflation, will be worth upwards of $100 to $1,000 by the time we retire with the inflation we're expecting from this massive debt. You see this guy's point, right? This is another reason why I think that eventually in the coming years, what's going to make Bitcoin really rally is rich people, devoting a certain percentage of their portfolio to investing in Bitcoin. Because once the rich people realize that Bitcoin is a good store of value, I suspect it's going to really rally. This next article comes out of the BBC. They did a great job reporting on what's going on in Africa, specifically with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So cryptocurrencies are gaining popularity in Kenya. Interest in virtual currencies is rising across the African continent, especially in Kenya, Africa's Silicon Valley. Despite warnings from Kenya's central bank about the volatility of cryptocurrencies, some businesses in Nairobi are now accepting Bitcoin payments. Yes, the total number of Bitcoin transactions in Kenya are estimated to be worth over 1.5 million, according to the Blockchain Association of Kenya. And then this article, because this article is the BBC, they take the time right here to really explain what Bitcoin is, what blockchain is. They do a pretty good job. But then they start talking about why specific people are turning to Bitcoin. So this person, Tony, can't pronounce his last name, Tony, the chief executive of Healthland Spa in Nairobi, began accepting Bitcoin payments in 2018. He says, I decided to adopt the use of cryptocurrencies because there was so much theft in my business, he told the BBC. So I said, let me use a way that can be safe, secure, and I can also embrace technology. Healthland Spa customers told the BBC that they like the convenience of using cryptocurrencies to pay for purchases. However, if you look at the total number of people in Kenya using virtual currencies today, it's still relatively small. Only about 40,000 people have ever made a transaction using Bitcoin. And part of the reason cryptocurrency penetration isn't growing that much is because Kenya's central bank has forbidden banks from dealing in virtual currencies. Banks are not allowed to open accounts for people who are known to dealing in any virtual currencies, which means that the population cannot easily convert Bitcoin payments into cash or mobile money. The Blockchain Association of Kenya, BAC, disagrees with this way of thinking and is actively working to educate the country on the benefits of using cryptocurrencies and blockchain. The non-profit body says that using virtual currencies can greatly reduce the cost of transactions and enable people without bank accounts to quickly make and receive payments. According to BAC, there are many things Kenyans have realized that they can use Bitcoin for, whether it's to pay merchants in China for goods or to enable Nigerians to pay to send their children to school in Kenya, or to enable young African freelancers to be easily paid for their work online. So very interesting. Bitcoin's not just for you, wherever you live. It's growing around the world. A little bit of a snowball effect. Next up, this was news from yesterday. I just want to point out to you that Facebook continues to hire people for their blockchain and cryptocurrency departments. So it's only a matter of time, guys. And when Facebook does launch whatever they're launching, and if they publicize it, which I suspect they will, because they're devoting a lot of resources to this, it will only be good for awareness. Next up, as I pointed out, this got 0 upvotes on our cryptocurrency. Bitcoin makes an appearance in Lil Uzi Vert's latest song, Free Uzi. So I like real rap, I like the art of rhyming words, not mumble rap. But Lil Uzi Vert, he's big with the kids, and Bitcoin is in the music video. Pretty cool. You can check out, I'll leave a link to this Reddit post, but the timestamp is 1:28. This person says nobody cares. The final thing I want to point out to you is Bitcoin's on-chain daily transactions spiked to a 15-month high. The latest data from blockchain shows that the latest spike to nearly 400,000 confirmed on-chain transactions in a period of 24 hours is the highest network activity since Bitcoin's price was well above 10,000 US dollars in early January 2018. So despite the value, the price of Bitcoin being near a low, the on-chain transactions are going up. And you can see, so this was the big bull run that took Bitcoin up to $20,000. This happened right here. And we had a major dip when Bitcoin corrected. But you can see that we are up very close to that. And we're up where Bitcoin was when it was over $10,000. All right. Look at our videos. Our videos are being watched right now. And that's it for me, team. Anything else you want to talk about? Might just cut the video right here to the goodbye if I don't see anything on Twitter. All right, guys, it is going to be a great year. I'll see you tomorrow.